The sequence we're going to do works well 4 weeks into the postnatal recovery journey with regards to yoga. So if you've got someone coming from 6 weeks, take it very gently like we did this morning. And then about 4 weeks on, so about 10 weeks time, 10 weeks postnatal, we can start doing a little bit more strength work like we're going to do next. Okay, and if they come to class at 10 weeks, again, I would still encourage doing that 4 weeks or so, just very gentle work, again, like we did this morning, and then moving into movements such as this that we're going to do. So you will need a yoga belt or something similar for the hamstring stretches. I'm going to sit on a bolster, but you could sit on blocks. I do think for postnatal, it's nice to have something softer to sit on, just in case someone's sore in the pelvis. So if you've only got blocks, get them to bring a blanket, or maybe you'll have one they could just fold so it's nice and fat, or just to sit on top of the blocks. That's just very, very nice to do. So okay. Saying that, just going to make sure I've got something here. So I'm just going to work really methodically through the manual now. On page 102. 102. So invite them to come down onto the floor by moving onto their side and then over onto the back. Now, before they lie down, you'll have hopefully just done a little welcome to class and thanks for coming and how is everyone today? So it wouldn't be they walk straight in and lie down and start moving. So we'll just assume all that has been done. So just mindfully coming down. Ooh, water. And then from there, I've got a ball between my knees because that's what I was using a lot of the time. But you can just take a block or rolled up blanket. And then just simply pop that between the thighs. Yeah, to walk kind of towards the knees. And then have the ankles just aligned underneath the knees. Spread the toes, arms just down by your side. Before any more movement happens, let's bring our awareness to our breath. So deep breath in and out. So just bringing your awareness to the next 45 minutes or so. Breath in and breath out. Okay, and then we'll just bring hands onto the pelvis, so the heel of the hands are just on those the hip bones. We know they're the front of the ilium. Fingertips towards the pubic bones, thumb tips just touching one another. And then we're just going to gently rock the hips back and forwards. Now that's just an invite with regards to the hand position. That might freak them out a little bit, and they might need to have arms down by their side instead. So make sure they know it's just an invite. And then gently rocking back and coming back to neutral. So lower back presses down and then again back to neutral. Lower back presses down and then again back to neutral. All right. So just getting a little work, little movement in that lower back. Okay. And then from here, we'll start to make the movements a little bit bigger. Before we do that, let's just get the breath down actually. So we're exhaling as the lower back presses down and the pubic bones lift, and then we're inhaling as we come back to neutral. Exhale again, pressing down. Inhale again, come back to neutral. Exhale again, pressing down. Inhale back to neutral. Okay, now exhaling, let the hips lift up, arms are down by our side. Keep breathing out as the spine feels up away from the floor. And then roll all the way back down. Nice big inhale. And then again, exhale, lift hips. Peel the spine up. And then again, rolling down from there. Okay, and then again, lifting the hips slowly up. All four corners of the feet pressing down into the mat. Keep the toes down. I say that because sometimes people will push into their heels and use their legs instead of core. And then again, exhale to lift. Breath out. So each time you're just gradually making the movement a little bigger. Now, when you come up, don't go into yoga shoulder bridge. Keep it more Pilates. So the shoulders stay in line with the knees on a diagonal, that is, and we just come up and we're really in a neutral position there. Okay, so we don't want to be going into a back bend. Switches off the core and switches on the back. That's not what we want at this point. Okay, and then again, just rolling down. So we're just bringing the arms a little bit now. So from here, give the block a bit more of a squeeze now. Switch the legs on a bit more. And then lifting the hips, lifting the spine. Come on up. Pause here now and reach the arms up and back. Rolling all the way down. Curl on down to the spine. And then bring the arms over and down by your side. And then again, lifting the hips, slowly coming up, reaching back, breathing in, rolling down, bring arms over and down. Let's go one more time. Again, lifting the hips, come on up, breathe out. Inhale back. Exhale, roll. Inhale, bring arms over and down by your side. Good. Just giving the legs a little bit of a stretch now. So taking your belt or band, we'll just pop that around the right foot. So bring the knee in first, reach for the foot, and then stretch up from there. So just toes drawing back, shoulders are relaxed, back of the neck is nice and long from there. And we just hang out here. Now keep pressing into the heels so the calf muscle gets a good stretch. If it feels okay to have the other leg down flat, then we can go with that. Again, most people will probably still need that leg a little bit bent. Try to keep the shoulder blades on the floor. I find when they lift, the neck goes into extension, which isn't particularly helpful. So back of the neck is nice and long. Shoulders relaxed down. Cool. Okay. Let's change legs. I like using something around the foot. Otherwise, people tend to reach too high and again, throw their neck out. So again, just pausing here, pressing into that heel, toes drawing back towards us. Shoulders are relaxed down into the mat. And again, the other leg can be down flat to the floor if you can see that works okay for them. Okay, and then again, just releasing all the way back down from there, just popping the foot down. Okay, so that's nice and simple. I'm going to come over now onto our side and then press into the hands to bring ourselves up. Oh, didn't want to get back up. Okay, something nice and soft underneath the hips. But I think it's a good idea to have a bit of an elevation under the hips because coming from here, for most people, they're going to end up kind of a bit like this. If we lift the hips, like in pregnancy, you can just like we've been doing in the prenatal classes, you can just more easily get that forward tilt of the pelvis. Okay, and then from here, you can either just walk the hands forwards. In the picture, I've actually got a band around the feet to intensify that stretch. Now, of course, if you're holding a band or belt, there's a little more strain on the back. But if I bring hands to the floor, it gives you more in contact with the floor, of course, and there's less strain on the lower back. So if someone had a sore back, I would take that option. If they're feeling a-okay, and some postnatal women do feel good, it's not it's not all doom and gloom. Some people, it's the best time of their life. Okay. And then take take your time to come up. So holding that, about 30 seconds or so, just to increase that stretch just a little bit is nice. Okay. And then coming up from there, so again, I don't expect you to all have a band like this, but I'll just show you what I'm doing, and then I can show you how to do it without the band, just using the weight of the arm. So I mentioned before lunch about the trapezius muscle and how we need it nice and active in order to stabilize those shoulders, especially the scapulae, shoulder blades. And you might have noticed in yourself or friends that have had babies, they start to round a little bit through the upper body. So those trapezius muscles get a little bit too relaxed, which means the opposing muscle, in this case, it's the pectoral muscle, gets a little hyperactive. So we get tight here, we get too open across the upper back. This can lead us to really shallow breathing and anxiety, because again, all interconnected. So we want to activate those trapezius muscles for a whole host of reasons. So a nice simple way to do that is to take a band around the feet, eyes on the horizon, and then as you breathe out, pull the arms back and draw those shoulder blades together. Okay, and then we inhale, release. So as I pull back, my legs are getting a bit of a stretch because my feet are in a real good amount of flexion there. That's dorsiflexion. Again, exhale, pulling back. And then inhale, release. Repetition-wise, about a set of 10 would work well. Now, again, not everyone can use this because they're latex. You might have someone in class that can't use those, or you might just not have any to give out. Both reasons, that's cool. Instead, we can just use the weight of the arms. That works just fine. So you bring the arms forwards, and then, start with the palms down, and then from here, just pull back, rotate from the shoulders, the palm face up, and then squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then reaching out, breath in, exhale, draw back. And then whether you're using a band or not, you could add in pelvic floor lift. So as we come back, draw shoulder blades together, draw the pelvic floor up too. And obviously, letting people know it's very normal to, again, not be able to feel that just yet. But we can still try. Exhale, belly button draws in a little bit. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Okay, again, about 10 repetitions. And then as you get stronger and a posture starts to improve, you could, again, if you don't have any bands, you could put a yoga block on the hands. So these ones are too light, they're not going to make any difference, but I've got 2 cork ones. You can use some props as weight. When I was teaching recently, but we used the bolsters as weights. We did some clean and press. I think it was at a retreat. There's some clean and press with the bolsters. Something a bit different. So that's quite a nice weight. I would say that's kind of the weight of a, I don't know, bottle of ketchup springs to mind. I love ketchup. So that kind of weight. And then from there, as you pull back, I can just feel that a little bit extra in the arms, but it's not too much. You wouldn't want a big weight because then the muscles are going to get a bit, again, hyperactive, and the small muscles won't get a look in. So just a few ideas there. Okay, so that movement as we come back, and I'm going on a bit now, but it's really important that we bring that shoulder blade down and back. So it moves towards the spine. Make sure you'll get people, because the neck is tight from carrying baby, that they'll pull back and the shoulders and lift. So we've got to down train the neck, up train the trapezius in that scenario. So get them to keep those shoulders down. It's just a bad habit. It's just a habit. I shouldn't label it bad. Okay, so let's come into a twist now. Just bringing the right leg back. I'm bringing from there the left arm over, but I'm not using that to push like in the lunge we did this morning. It's just resting there. Right hand behind, because obviously as we twist, we've got an increase in intra-abdominal pressure if we go too hard. We're just using this to stretch the back muscles and just a little stimulation on the digestive system. Okay, just 5 or so breaths there. Ooh, my head just starts to keep that chin level. Back to center, relaxing down. Other side again, just coming back. Right arm comes across. Left hand behind. pausing there. Again, breath in, breath out. And then again, just taking your time to come all the way back from there. Okay, we're going to take a forward fold now. Just swing around so you can see. Ankles are just underneath the knees. Again, you can be up on a bolster. I think I've got a folded blanket under my hips in the picture. So it's as though your legs are in eagle position. Sorry, pigeon. I think it was a bird. Pigeon pose, that front leg. And then from there, as you fold forward, you get a real good stretch across the glute medius, so top of the bottom cheek. And then from there, just folding forwards. Again, feel free to support the legs with blocks. You won't quite get the same stretch, but if you need the support, you need it. Okay, so again, about 25-30 seconds there, changing up, of course, the other one in front. And then from there, again, walking the hands forwards. And the movement should be coming from the pelvis, not the back. So what we don't want is pelvis tilting back and reaching forward. And you will see this in class. If you see it, they need something under the hips, block or bolster. Lift up and then move forwards. Okay, and then again, just coming back, opening into the shoulders now. So again, in the picture, I'm using a band. You can use a belt. It's a little bit jerky though. You get a kind of sticking point with the belt. So all this is, oh, knees cracking a bit. All this is, we just take it back and open across the chest. And I say that's all. That is quite a big circumduction of the shoulder. So do go nice and gently to start with, because with the arms straight like that, it can pull quite a lot on the shoulders. So go really gently. I would, as teacher, just go back to about here, see how everyone is, and then probably just bring them straight back. And then if you can see if someone's, you know, in their functional movement's pretty good and they're pretty mobile, they might like to come all the way back. Okay, now that works nicely with the band. You can do it with the belt, but you will get a bit of a sticking point. So just be aware of that. And if you don't have any props, just take the arms back open and then come back down. That does the job too. A little bit different, but it does the job. Okay, fabulous. All right. So far, we've done some movement through the spine, some flexion work. We've brought awareness to the pelvis and breath, and we've brought our hands onto the pelvis as an invite, just in case they want to, you know, if they can, just start to get in touch a little bit with the pelvis. There can be a bit of a block, especially if you've been through birth trauma. You just don't want to look or touch the pelvis. It's kind of weird. So that's just a nice start to healing the relationship with the pelvis. And then we've just done some movement on all the major joints. So we've stretched through the back of the hips by folding forwards. We've woken up the arms and upper back muscles, so postural muscles. All muscles are postural, but trapezius in particular. A little rotation there, forward fold, and then opening of the shoulders. Okay, and then just jumping over to page 106. Just going to take you through that sun salute again so I can explain it a bit more. The one we did this morning. But I need to link it, so don't come up yet. I don't like just coming up. I've got to do a little flow to bring you up. So let's now come on to hands and knees. Come on over. Cat stretch, breath in. As you breathe out, round up through the spine, draw the belly button in, let the head relax down, and then release down, come to neutral. And then again, exhale again to roll up. And then again, inhale to come down. I'm going to do a little balance work here too before we come up to standing. So bend the elbows a little, reach one arm away, shoulders nice and level, and then bring the hand back down and then stay on the same side. So it's a little tiny bit more challenging than alternating. Exhale again, reach, shoulders, everything stays nice and level. And what you might find, what I find is as I lift the left arm, I can feel right side of core working because that's stabilizing. Bringing the hand down, other side. Exhale again, reach away. Inhale down. Exhale again to reach. Pelvic floor lifts. Feel the lower abdomen working. And then one more from there. Nice. Okay. Coming into downward dog now. So just tucking toes under, pressing up and back. If that's not for you today, take downward dog. No, child's pose. That's what I meant to say. And if downward dog, if it feels good, but it's a little too intense, as always, just bend the knees a little. Take the hands and feet just a little bit wider as well. Okay, and then from here, just bring your knees to the floor. So everyone just being in box position, and then we'll just bring one foot forwards and then the other. And then with the knees bent, drop those hips, hands onto thighs. Take your time to come all the way up to standing. Okay, we'll do 2 rounds of this sun salute. I'm going to flow a bit more quickly through it than we did this morning, slightly different vibe class. So let's from here take a breath in. Just going to change this. Oh, sorry. Okay, so breath in, reaching up. Exhale, bend the knees, just roll it down, bringing the right leg back and then the left. Okay, rounding up, cat stretch. Exhale, inhale down, right leg comes forwards, give it a pull forwards if you need. That's all good. Inhale, reach up with the arms. Exhale, coming into a twist. Right hand to the lower back, left hand onto the knee, holding it there. If you want to take that a little further, the right arm could reach out as well. Bringing now hands down to the floor, taking now the right leg back, walk the hands back to the knees, hips up, roll up through the spine, breathe. Right leg's coming forwards now, left leg back, triangle pose. Reaching out with the arms, bringing right arm down, left arm up, or again, you could just take arm behind the back. Let's just drop the gaze down as well, just to release the neck. Now, ground down into the feet, pressing down nice and firmly. Take your time now to come all the way up. I'm going to push off that back foot and just come to the top of the mat from there. Good job. Let's go one more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold, left leg back. And then the right, again, coming into cat stretch. So rounding up from there, releasing down. And then bringing left leg forwards, floating the arms up, breath in. Exhale, turn to your left. Feel free to reach out with the left arm if you wish. Just pause in here. And then releasing down, hands to the floor. Left leg comes back. Hands come back to knees, hips coming up. With the knees a little bent, roll up through the spine. Left leg now comes forwards. Reaching out from there, breath in. Exhale to come all the way down. And again, you could reach up with that right arm if you wish, dropping the gaze. And then just take your time now to come up. Lift the pelvic floor as you come up. And then just coming back to the top of the mat from there. So that's quite a nice way just to get some functional movement through all the joints without overdoing it. And also just to get a bit more in tune with the breath and just to lift the energy a little bit because it's fairly dynamic. Okay, just a short standing sequence now. So page 108. So I mentioned about the midline. So everyone's got an imaginary anatomical midline from the center of the head all the way down. And when we're talking about anatomical moves, we're either moving, excuse me, either towards this or away from it. So in pregnancy, we're thinking about expansion, opening up, moving away from our midline. Now we need to rein it back in for general well-being and health of the musculoskeletal system. So we want to draw that back in towards our midline. Okay, and this little sequence does just that. So taking your block or rolled up blanket and just popping that between the legs now. Excuse me, got a tickle. Just spreading the toes. Okay, and then once you're here, again, just checking alignment. It's so easy when you're soft in the abdomen and tight in the back. It's so easy just to exacerbate that by not having any, so much awareness through the pelvis. So, or pelvic alignment. So again, I would just bend the knees a little, tailbone draws down, feel the abdomen draw in. Okay, so think now about bringing the energy inwards, so pressing in towards the block there, in towards midline, and we're simply interlacing fingers. It's super straightforward. Pressing the palms up from there to the kind of adapted crescent moon pose. And then simply take hold of the right wrist with the left hand, palm faces up on the right side. And then simply reaching up and over towards the left side. You're keeping it there. Just for about 5 breaths. So we're working those side abdominal muscles on the left side. So they're shortening, contracting. We're stretching into the right side. Come on up, change sides. Breath in, exhale up and over again from there. Good, one more breath. And then again, just coming all the way up, bringing hands into prayer position now, bending the knees. So again, keeping hold of that block, pressing in towards the midline, hands pressing together as you sink down. So hands pressing into midline, legs pressing into. Spine is nice and flat. And the movement, the hinge is coming from the hip joint, not the back. So we don't want this kind of thing. You will always have someone doing this in class. So I, rather than say you're doing it wrong, which we don't, that's not ideal, you say bring the gaze forwards. Make sure that gaze is forwards, and then they tend to lift the whole body. So 5 breaths here. Now I'm going to invite you to, again, just take an inhale, and as you exhale, press into the block and press those hands together nice and firmly. Keep breathing out. Inhale, release. Exhale again, pressing in. Draw the pelvic floor up. Inhale, release. And again, exhale, press in. See if you can pull the belly button in a little. And again, gently release. Exhale again, breathing out. And release. Take your time to come up. That's a super simple and a safe way to work the core. Let's pop the block down now. Just taking a quadricep stretch. I'm going to have hand onto the wall because if I look this way, I tend to get dizzy. So just bringing one foot up. We did this lying on our side this morning. So now we're standing. That would be a progression of the side lying stretch we did. Just an example of progression. I like to bend the standing knee a little bit. I find I can get better movement. So the pelvis, those top hip bones, ilium, see if you can tip those forwards a bit as the heel comes up. About 30 seconds here. We can progress this stretch a bit now. Okay. And then just simply release other side. So they're super basic movements, aren't they? So you've got that, one of my teachers calls it white stuff. White stuff or white space? I don't know. Space around the stuff. So you've got space for things to happen and it's not stressful. So if you've got a jam-packed sequence with no space for breaks or things happening in class, then it's kind of, it doesn't always work. Okay, and then release from there. Okay, just coming into eagle pose now. This is a nice one postnatally. Again, we're bringing the limbs in towards our midline, so nice energetically to close the body down after that massive expansive experience of being pregnant, giving birth. Bending the knees, and then from there, right arm under left. If it goes, you bring half knot. So instead, we could press hands together like we did in that chair pose, and then work with the legs. Or if you see someone needs a bit of a stretch in their chest, you could take the arms back. So legs pressing together, sinking the hips down, chin level to the floor. I like to keep my toes on the floor. I don't balance well on this mat. I certainly wouldn't, point out foot behind the calf muscle. I am in the picture. Don't know why I was doing that. That can be quite hard on the knee. If someone just can do it easily, you know, of course they can, go for it. But I certainly wouldn't make that an aim of the posture. Come on up. Okay. Little mountain pose. Okay. And then other side from there. So again, either wrapping the arms, I'm going to stay with this. Bending the knees, wrap the legs, left over right. Press the legs in towards one another. So you've got that nice feeling of strength through the lower extremities. Gaze is forwards. I'm just taking a little bit of a lean forwards. And then again, just coming up from there, coming back to our mountain pose. And then just one more side bend. So from there, I'm just going to take a block or blanket, reaching up. Oh, stretch is so good. And then again, just taking hold of the wrist. I'm going to take left wrist first this time. Left palm faces up, reaching up and over. Tuck the tailbone in just a touch. Just pausing here. All right, take your time, come back to center, up and over to the other side. And then just taking your time now as you come all the way up, releasing down. All right. And that's all we're going to do, standing. That's it. So let's just do a little flow to bring ourselves down. So you've got some of the big global muscles working there. So that's kind of good. Sometimes you can have such brain fog, you know, and body fog. I get body fog a lot when I've done too much. These movements are nice just to generate a bit of heat and burn off that body fog and just shake it off a bit. So I think it's good to do a bit of standing work. Okay, let's take a breath in now, reach up. Let's come down into a nice deep squat. So sinking down from there, just hang out here for a sec. Just because it's nice, really. And then walk the hands forwards. I've missed swooping cat. Let's just take 5 swooping cats. Spread the fingers, bend the elbows, come forwards. And then round the spine to move back. And then again, come forwards, round the spine to come back. And again, coming forwards, round the spine to come back. Last time. Pressing back now into child's pose or downward facing dog, whatever floats your boat. Grab my ball. Go one more breath there. Excuse me. Okay, and then just bringing yourself up and over. So we're going to come over onto our back now. So come on over from there, again mindfully. So over onto your side and then over onto your back. So now we're going to start using the legs, the weight of the legs to help activate the core muscles. So quite often, you know, people will hit the gym real quick after having a baby, as we, chatted about this morning, and they'll be lifting weights and whatnot. And I love weight training. I think it's great, but you got to wait till the body's ready. And there's so much more there's so much you can do just using your body weight before you start adding additional weight. So this is just an example of how we can do that. Okay, so in the picture, I've got a little ball under my hips. That can be quite fun to do. It really wobbles you around, so your little muscles have to work. I'm going to do it without the ball for now, so we're all doing the same thing. So this will feel very simple for most of you, but I like to start super basic and then we can work our way up. And then anyone in class that needs to stay at that more gentle level, they can just stay there and they'll know what to do. So it's all good. So initially, we're just going to press the lower back down into the mat. So that will automatically give you a posterior tilt of the pelvis. So the lower back is just pressing down into the floor and the tailbone is lifting, depending on the type of pelvis you've got. But that's you know, you'll feel it in different places, but that's the general rule of thumb. Lower back will press down, and tailbone and pubic bones as well lift actually. And when you do that, see how that changes the activity of the pelvic floor and the lower abdomen. Okay, so just maybe even have your hands on your pelvis, and then you can feel the muscle activity. That can be very encouraging for someone if they can actually feel the muscles working. It can be quite a boost for them. So lower back's pressing down. We're going to maintain that imprint of the back, and then simply bring one leg up from there. So the knee is over the hip, and then from here we're just going to press into the heels so the toes point up. Now, although that's just a simple leg raise, I can already feel that my core is having to work harder than when I'm down here, and that's what you want everyone to be feeling. So just coming up, pause there. If for any reason they can't keep their lower back down in this position, I wouldn't then take them any further. I wouldn't give them any more. They've got to be able to do that first and get a little lift on the pelvic floor before we start doing things like bringing both legs up. Okay, so let's just bring that down. Other side, now lower back presses down and we lift, pressing into the heel, pausing there. Nice little activation through the core. And then again, releasing down. So we just held that about five breaths or so. So now we'll make that a little bit more dynamic. So from here, anchor down through that lower back. Exhale, lift up. Inhale down, change sides. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. My lower back is pressed down all the way through. Breath out. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. I'm just checking my book so I don't go rogue. Okay. And then from there, we can start to add in the arms. So bullet brain gym, opposite arm to leg, lifts up. And we inhale lower. Exhale again to lift. And we inhale down. Exhale, lift. And we inhale down. Exhale, lift. You'll know when the core muscles start to fatigue because the back will start to arch. Hopefully we don't get to that point. But if you do, that's a time to stop, rest, have a little stretch, and then reset and go again. All right. So again, feet down, breath in, anchor the lower back down, exhale to lift. Inhale. And keep the arm a bit soft, a bit bent at the elbow. If you lock the arm, it tends to lift the shoulder away from the floor. We don't really want that. So it's an exhale, inhale lower, exhale, inhale down, exhale, inhale. Okay, so you get the gist. Repetition wise, about 10 repetitions, alternate sides, so 10 in total is a good amount. And then like we've just done, have a little stretch out, maybe knees side, legs side to side, etc. And then go again from there. Okay. And then we can start to make things a little stronger. Yeah, okay. So now we're going to go static. So if she's got on okay with that and she's feeling good and you can see posture's good, breath is good, then from there we could start bringing both legs up. I would lift one at a time. And then you're just having the knees over the hips, shins level to the floor, arms down by our side, neck is nice and relaxed. You might find it's a little too much on the back, so we just bring the knees in slightly. Like my back's been quite sore this week, so for me, I know knees in was going to work a bit better. Like, okay. And if someone's got very long limbs, that's obviously then going to weigh more down through their core. Because of the way the lever system works. So if you've got someone very tall, they may well need the knees to come in a little bit. And then we just hold it here. So keeping that breath going and then floating the arms up too. Shoulders nice and relaxed down into the mat. About 30 seconds there. And then releasing down, just let the arms go and then just bringing one foot down and release and see how that feels on the core. I just said 30 seconds, but you might have to work up to that. It might be after 10 seconds, she starts to fatigue and it doesn't feel great on the back. So we just have a break, build up, and then 30 seconds could be a goal that you work towards in say 4 weeks time that the class can do. Okay, so let's try that again, and I'm going to bring a little extra movement into that as well. So again, just coming up, hover, shins level to the floor, and then floating the arms up from there, lower back again, anchors down. And if you can see that's good, from there we could start to reach opposite arm to leg away. So breath out, opposite arm to leg, and coming up. Now I wouldn't take the arm all the way back because that's going to flare the ribs and arch the back. Keep it nice and small. I find bringing the foot all the way down too much for my back because it's got quite a lordosis. So just, you don't have to bring it all the way down. Everyone will be slightly different. And some people will be fine coming all the way down. The clues to look for is, are the ribs flaring? Is the abdomen bulging? Is the lower back off the floor? If any of those things happen, take it down a notch. So again, about 10 repetitions, alternate, so in total. And then you'll probably find just bringing the knees in is quite a nice stretch from there. And again, you can start to build up the amounts of sets of repetitions over the weeks. But that's just a really simple and easy way, not easy, but easy with regards to class management, because you don't need equipment. I mean, easy way to bring in some body weight training. And you'll have people going to do more extreme forms of exercise and they can't even do this well, which shows, you know, the deep layers of the pelvic floor, the transverse abdominis, and probably rectus abdominis too. They're just not in shape yet to be doing those stronger movements. So this is a good marker, I think, to find out if someone could move on to like a vinyasa flow class or something like that. I don't think I'll ever go to vinyasa flow again. Oh, I think it's long gone. Okay, and then from here, just popping the feet back down. I'm going to take a little twist now, so just resting. Arms out to either side, bending the elbows. And then I like to take the hips across first. So I'm going to take my hips to the right side a little bit. And then from there, bring my legs over to the left side. And then you can either look up or bring the knees over to the right. Now, this is quite a deep abdominal twist. I would not give this full twist to someone who's just had a cesarean birth. Where's my block gone? I would instead, okay, I'm going to use a ball. I would instead put something underneath the leg just to give the leg support. So we don't do the full twist. That can really irritate the scar tissue and make it quite sore later on. So yeah, I would just decrease that range of movement, give the leg some support instead with a prop, block, bolster, ball. And because you've got loads of support from the ground here, you could hang out here for a minute if you wanted. Okay, and then we'll just bring it over to the other side. So moving hips over to the left, and then from there, coming over to the right side. Oh, just as an aside, if someone is recovering from herniated disc, keep any spinal twist like this small. So that would be another reason to use a prop under the legs. All right, rotation can really grind down onto that disc and irritate the nerve further. Especially as the legs are so heavy, it can really pull on the back. So again, just reaching out from there. Maybe just bring the gaze over to the side, maybe not, it depends on the neck. So again, you could hang out there for a minute or so if you wanted, if you really wanted to work into the back. We are going to move though, so we don't run out of time. So let's come over onto our side now. So bringing our awareness back to that midline and working in towards the midline. I'm going to put my head up so I can't really see you, but I can kind of see you. Feel more connected to you then. But you can have the head just relaxed down onto block or bolster. And then from there, if you've got a ball, you could try that between the legs for a change. Or again, just take your block, rolled up blanket, just something really, something to grip, and pop that between the legs. Okay. So from here now, we're going to hover the feet off of the floor. And then see if you can press the heels together. Now, it takes quite a lot of effort, but see what difference that makes to the posterior chain. Glutes, hamstrings instantly switch on. So real nice way just to activate those without too much stress on the body. So the feet are off the floor, my heels are pressing together, got it all going on. And then from there, we're simply going to take a breath in. And as you breathe out, press a little more with the feet and the legs coming in. So that's a breath out. And then an inhale to open. Exhale, pressing in. Inhale to relax, not open. I should have said relax. In, so coming in towards that midline. And then again, release. Exhale, press in, pelvic floor lifts. Inhale, release. Exhale. Inhale, release. Let's do one more. Exhale, press. Inhale. So we did about 8 of those. Again, 8 to 10 repetitions is a good amount. Let the legs relax down. Top foot comes up. Give the leg one more little stretch. Okay, and then again, you could go on and do another set. I would advise you do at least 2 sets of those because they're really nice to help strengthen the hip joint. It's a great movement to do if someone's got pelvic girdle pain. But if they have got pelvic girdle pain, I would keep feet on the floor and just work from there instead. And as their body starts to heal, we can work with the feet off the floor. Let's do the other side. Okay, so again, breath in, exhale, think about squeezing into that midline, and then we soften and relax. Exhale again to press in, and again we soften and relax. Exhale, inhale, exhale again, press, inhale, relax. Exhale again, pressing in, inhale again, relax. Exhale again, press and relax. Awareness to the pelvic floor now. Pelvic floor lifts. And we inhale, soften. Just one more from there. Exhale. Inhale. Okay, relaxing down. Drawing one foot up towards the bottom. Knee gently draws back. Hips gently pressing forwards. Hold it there. Okay, and then relaxing down. Okay, I'm going to come over onto our backs now and just take a short shavasana. In a postnatal class, it depends on whether the babies are there or not as to whether I do a long shavasana. If they're not there, I would do at least 10 minutes. If babies are there, good luck with shavasana. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Heather will go through that with you tomorrow. Don't get attached to the shavasana if it's mum and baby, just so you know. All right. So come on over now. Find a comfortable rest position. You can always stay on your side if that works better. And then just relaxing the arms wherever feels good for you. Okay, take a moment now to close the eyes. Neck and shoulders nice and relaxed. Deep inhale and exhale. So let the jaw relax. Feel the neck and shoulders relax too. Allow the spine to just rest down into the ground. Bit of a creaky chair. And then just become very aware of your breath. Very aware of your breath.
It's going to be here a few minutes. And to share another little poem with you now, it's called Let It Go. Let go of the ways you thought life would unfold, the holding of plans or dreams or expectations. Let it go. Save your strength to swim with the tide. The choice to fight what is here before you now will only result in struggle, fear, and desperate attempts to create the energy you have longed for. Let go. Let it all go and flow with the grace that washes through your days, whether you receive it gently or with all the quills raised to defend yourself. Take this on faith. The mind may never find the explanations that it seeks, but you will move forwards nonetheless. Let go, and the waves' crest will carry you to unknown shores before your wildest dreams for destination. Let it go and find the place of rest and peace and certain transformation. I'm just going to leave you in silence just for 2 minutes. Oops. So just taking deep breath in now, stretching into the fingers and the toes. Just stretching into the arms and the legs. Little wiggles here and there. And then just slowly rolling over onto your side. And just coming up when you're ready. If you just can't move yet, that's all right, don't worry.